What's up, guys? Today I want to talk about how to make money on eBay and Poshmark reselling things that are easily accessible, that you might have in your own house, that you could pick up at any thrift store, any yard sale. These things are not like crazy rare or exclusive or anything. You can pick them up anywhere you go, okay? I made 350 bucks off of all of this. There's 14 items here I'm going to show you. This is just my weekend sales, okay? And you don't have to know any crazy secret information. You don't have to live in an area with, super rich people that have very fancy clothes or anything like that. This is all normal household stuff that you might have laying around. There's no crazy brands here. This is such a great starting point for anybody who wants to get into reselling. Just start looking around your house for things to sell, because people need stuff. Not everybody's looking for this super rare, vintage, exclusive, expensive stuff. People need everyday items. And every single person who has a house has a bunch of stuff. And everybody who has access to a thrift store or, you can go to Yard Sale Finder and look up every yard sale that's around your area and just get out on a Friday and a Saturday, and start picking things up. Because we all need extra cash, we all need extra money, and who wants to spend their life sitting at, at a desk trying to make extra money or breaking your back, doing labor jobs, whatever. If you just need work and you can't find it, here is such an easy, awesome way to make extra money. You can make it a full-time thing. You can make it a part-time thing. You need extra cash for something, start digging in. First thing you're gonna do is start watching videos. It's free. Watch videos on Facebook, watch videos on YouTube, and just see what people are picking up. Look up the comps yourself. Don't just trust what the videos are saying, but watch the videos and study what people are selling, what kind of stuff. If you're into video games, you could sell video games. I sell everything. I sell absolutely everything. I like vintage stuff. I like selling clothes, but I'm going to get whatever is there. Wherever I am, I'm going to get whatever is there, whether it be some cool vintage Barbies, whether it be just regular everyday clothing, whatever. Today I got some instrument thing. Whatever I have access to, I'm going to look it up. Get Google Lens on your phone, start looking things up, and don't trust just what Google Lens says, okay? You take your Google Lens, that's gonna show you what the thing is. Then you take that information, put it into eBay, and search for it. Then when you get there, filter sold items, and you're only looking at what this thing sold for. That will tell you what it's worth and what people will spend on it. Anyhow, let's get into it. I profited $350 off of these items, okay? I'm gonna show you my favorite one of the day. I put this in a video like 3 days ago, and it already sold, okay? I got this set for $2. These are legitimate USMC Army. I think this is the United States Marine Corps. These are just pants and a jacket, okay? That I sold for $175. These are issued by the United States. This is worn by an actual soldier. This is what the tags look like. These are special because they are Gore-Tex. This is the kind of material that everyone is looking for right now. It's like water resistant, and it's great for outdoors, hunting, whatever, being in the elements. They say USMC. They're just beautifully made, and they were only $1 a piece. I picked them up at a yard sale. Somebody was selling stuff out of a storage unit. This was one of the pieces in there. This is something that you can find out at a yard sale or out at the thrift store. Somebody would have donated all their military uniforms. Maybe you got a husband who's in the military and he has a ton of these. You know what I mean? Start looking in your closet. Look in your attic. Look what you've been storing around that you don't use, that somebody else really wants and can get a lot of use out of, right? Somebody wanted these enough that they paid 175 bucks for them. And I could have got way more, mind you. They go for over $100 a piece, and this is a set. But he sent me an offer and I took it because I don't play games. I want the money coming in, okay? Here is a pair of beautiful floral Dr. Martens. They are the Addies. Look at them. They're so gorgeous. They don't really show much wear at all. I got 70 bucks for them. I probably paid $26 or $27 for them. I paid a lot for them because I knew they're cool. I knew they'd sell quick. I really just got these only like 2 weeks ago. Dr. Martens, something that everybody wants, you know? They're not even that expensive. They're probably $200 new-ish, and people will still pay up for them pre-owned because who has $200 to spend on a friggin' shoe? You know what I mean? So she spent 70 on them. Beautiful, absolutely gorgeous. A friend of ours was moving. He said we can come pick through all the stuff in his house that he was gonna throw out. I saw this freaking tambourine thing. I got 20 bucks for it. I don't know. I put everything in a box that I thought I might be able to get something for, but it's a little tambourine that goes on a drum. Did what the comps told me to do. I listed it for 25. You never want to list it unless it's like insanely rare, exclusive, and you know people are searching like crazy for it. You don't want to go over the comps that eBay gives you when you're making a listing. If you put something up, I put in this LP tambourine, whatever, and eBay says to list it for up to $24, do not list it for $30, because if you go over what eBay says, they're going to shadow your listing and no one's ever gonna see it. It will sit at 0 views forever. eBay told me list it at $24. Somebody sent me an offer of $20 the next day. I accepted. It was free to me, and now I got 20 bucks for it. Uh-oh, here's the problem. I sold these shoes for 13 bucks, but now they were sitting up in my office for like a year because it's just not a brand people were looking for. I thought they were cute. I got them for like $2 at the Goodwill. They were like brand new in perfect condition, but sitting up in the attic that long, unfortunately. The glue deteriorated and now that's coming off. So now I gotta cancel that order. But guess what? It was $13. Who cares? This beautiful. Wow. This thing is so freaking cool, man. I got it for like $3 at the thrift store. It's super vintage. It's super gorgeous. It looks like something that I Love Lucy would have worn. You know, the friggin' polka dots or whatever. The collar, I can't. It's beautiful. I got 30 bucks for it. Had it up for 50. You know, if eBay will allow me to, I'll shoot high. It sat for 50 for a while. I had to relist it because nobody saw it at all. So I knew something was wrong with the listing. So I edited the listing a little bit, and then somebody sent me an offer for 30. I said, girl, you take it. A brand new little watch. I think Relic is like a branch off of the Fossil brand, but it's just a little cute little fashion watch. My mom gave it to me. Nobody ever used it. She said, here, see if you could do something with this. I got $31 for it. And it was just nothing. She was gonna get rid of it for $1 at a yard sale. She gave it to me. 31 bucks, thank you. Here's a Tyndale FR fire resistant work shirt it's a men's work shirt. I got this for free. My friend who works with my husband, who also wears these, gave me like 3 bags full of these FR clothes that he doesn't wear. Like my husband, he had a bunch of ones that he didn't like or whatever, didn't fit. Whatever, he was getting rid of them. He gave them to me to try to sell, and boom, I got 20 bucks for this one. I got a ton more, you know? $20 off of 0, amazing. And when I first started doing this, my husband had an entire bin of these FR clothes that, you know, he bought from the company. They didn't fit him. He didn't like the way they looked. They weren't comfy, whatever. And I got to sell all of those. And that's just something that was laying around my house, you know? the first thing I ever sold was a bunch of extra preemie, slow flow baby disposable nipples that you put on a baby bottle. They were given to me for my baby because he has special needs and he had, feeding issues. And the drug rep from the doctor gave me 2 enormous boxes of them, but he kind of phased out of them more quickly than we expected. So I had 400 of them. I sold them for $1 a piece on eBay, and I made $400, and that was my first sales because I broke them down into lots. But I took the $400 and I started going to yard sales. I went to every yard sale, every thrift store. I started watching videos like crazy. I took my notebook here that I keep everything in, and I just made a page of names of brands to look for. I would watch videos and write down every single brand that people were selling for a lot of money. I spent a lot of time researching, like I would put in, what to sell on eBay, blah, blah, blah. And all I would get was these rich, Anthropologie, fancy, luxury, like high-end brands. And I've never seen any of these things. And even when I do, even when I find one, I'm like, ooh, I finally found one. And then they don't sell for nothing. So, and I don't wear that crap. I don't care about this like fancy high-end luxury brands. It's not my style. It's not my thing. And it was such a chore trying to research at all these hundreds and hundreds of brands of these fancy clothes, and I would never find them. They never paid out. If I did find one, Pomodoro Palace or whatever. I occasionally find them. I'll occasionally sell one for like $50 or something. This is so not something that I should have put my energy into. I didn't, that's just what the algorithm was showing me, like all this stuff. But when I started digging in, getting into more like sports stuff, like everyday clothes that people wear, people need uniforms, people need, I sell a lot of work boots. I sell like hockey stuff, football gear, whatever, skates, a lot of roller skates, things that people use every day. Their kid wants to go out on rollerblades. They don't want to spend $200 on a freaking rollerblade. You can come to eBay and get a brand new pair of rollerblades that maybe a kid never wore or the kid wore one time and get them for $50, It just makes so much more sense to do it this way. Why do we keep dumping money into all these companies with their outrageous prices? Everything's freaking $200. You want a pair of freaking beautiful white Hokas? You don't want to spend $185 on them? Go to eBay. You'll find a very beautiful pair for $60. That looks unworn, So I do good with things like that. Sneakers, everyday sneakers. I do, my highest performing category is shoes. Everybody wears shoes. I sell shoes every single day, I buy as many shoes as I can. I get the brands that people like. You want high quality, you want leather, you want them to be clean and look like they were not, heavily worn. And people will come and spend $70 on your used Doc Marten instead of spending $200 online for them. They'll come here and spend $70 plus shipping. To have the shoe, they want the quality, they want the style, they want the look. Who can keep building a closet of stuff when everything costs $100 or $200, right? So that's what eBay's for. That's what we're here for. This one's amazing. I got a beautiful bundle on Poshmark. I don't get them often, but when I do, they're so good. People will, grab a cart full, $100 or $200, and you just 4, 5, 6, 10 sales in one shot. I love Poshmark. It's amazing. I love Poshmark more than any of the sites, honestly. It's so easy. It's so easy to work with. Shoes are easy. It's easy to remember the brands. There's probably 30 great brands, and they sell for a lot. You can find them every time you go out. They're not like exclusive. They're not hard to find. These Dansko is a hit every time. If they are in good condition, they're always a hit. So for this bundle, I sent her an offer of $100. There's 4 items. We got the Danskos, and the Taos or Teos, okay? Little Mary Jane, you want to hit a Mary Jane. Every time you see Mary Jane, you get it in these brands, okay? People love the Mary Jane. These are beautiful. Here's my beautiful Dansko Mary Jane. Gorgeous leather, non-stick bottom. Here's my Teos or Taos. I call them in my head Taos, but I don't think that's how you say it. Here they are. Very similar shoe. Non-stick bottom, beautiful leather, super clean and gorgeous. Wow. Okay. $100 for the two shoes, a little black Talbot's dress that I had listed for $20, and a Banana Republic black little cardigan sweater that I had up for $14. So sometimes it pays to have this extra stuff. I was gonna donate it. It's been sitting forever. You know, I try not to pick up things like Gap and Banana Republic and stuff like that because there's not a big payoff. But if you're just getting started and that's all you find, then people buy it. I mean, the sell-through rate is not good, but you know, American Eagle, things that are too easy to come by, then there's gonna be millions of them on eBay. So you don't really wanna go with brands like that. Talbot seems to do pretty good for me though. Little things, this Ohio State little fleece, I got 15 bucks for it. I thought it would do better. It's sat for a year. Someone offered 15. Now they get to have it. And this little, I don't know what it is, Warcraft or something. It's one of those Blizzard shirts. It's like a tie-dye. It's one of those games, World of Warcraft or something like that. I got 13 bucks for it. I had a lot of like 30 of them that I bought. They all did amazing. This is one of the last ones. And I let it go for 13 because somebody sent me an offer, and I'm, happy to move on from all these tees. I did so good on them, but that was a study yard sale. I got some kids, all his, Dungeons and Dragons and World of Warcraft and Diablo and all these gaming shirts. Easy to list, they were clean, and people want them. People don't want to pay $45 for a t-shirt, so they come to eBay and pay $25, and I had 30 of them, so just think. I sold them all for 20 to 30 bucks. Some of them I sold for 40, the really cool ones. So out of all that stuff, I made $417 on all of that, okay? So if you take out my cost of goods, which was $64, which is kind of a lot, but most of that was the Doc Martens, honestly. I spent a lot on those Doc Martens. So at the end of the day, 350 bucks for the weekend, and that's great because I just spent $300 on some Meta Ray-Ban sunglasses, so I can take you out to the yard sales in the thrift store with me and not be holding up my phone like a weirdo. And now I can just record with my glasses, and you can see what I'm seeing. You can see what I'm looking up, what I'm picking up, and what I'm not picking up. And it's so important that you don't just focus on what to pick up, but you have to know what to not pick up, and you're only going to get that with experience of seeing all these things. It takes time to go to the thrift store. I would spend hours going through racks and learning every single brand. It takes a long time. You can start by focusing on great brands that you should pick up and that are gonna sell quickly and that are gonna sell for decent money. They don't have to sell for a fortune. You can sell $25, $30 items all day if you got a lot of them. Other than the military fatigues and the Doc Martens, everything here is just very nothing. You know what I mean? No great brands. It's just kind of whatever stuff. We still did amazing on it. Oh, a little Urban Outfitters skirt I sold for $16. I got it for $2. This I got for $3. So that's it. That's my advice for today, is just focus on the brands that you want and learn the brands that you don't want to pick up. I used to pick up American Eagle and Urban Outfitters and Gap and Banana Republic because to me, those are fancy brands and the clothes are expensive. But you're not going to get much of anything for those brands, really, at the end of the day. The Loft, things like that. At the store, the Loft shirt might be $200, but on eBay, you're going to get $7. You know what I mean? So there's brands that hit really, really well on eBay and Poshmark, and there's brands that flatline because there's so much of them. Levi's, it's so hard to sell Levi's. Don't focus on that. Focus on things that are a little bit harder to come by. FR clothes are a hit every time. People are hunting for them. People need them for work. Yeah, I only got $20 for that shirt, but I have 3 garbage bags of these clothes. It's sold within 4 days of listing it. Things like LL Bean, I'm always picking up LL Bean. They sell so good. Brands like Patagonia, yes, it's very oversaturated and people want a lot for it, but people want the Patagonia. People want the hiking brands. People want the sporty brands. If you don't want to do clothes, don't do clothes. Do stuff. Do toys. Do household items. I sold a Sunbeam, vintage Sunbeam little hot water maker. It looked like a tiny coffee pot you would see in a hotel. I sold it for $115. I don't know why. I don't know why somebody spent that much money on it. Get into vintage stuff. It's awesome. People spend so much money on it. You could do toys. You can do sports stuff. You can do video games. There's so many things you could do. Look around your house. What's your hobby? What are you into? What was your hobby 10 years ago? Hunting stuff, tactical stuff, fishing, all that. There's somebody out there for everything. If you bought it, guess what? Somebody else is looking for that stuff too. So look around your house, see what you can sell. Take that money, take it over to the thrift store, get some more of it, get some more things, watch a bunch of videos, write down things like a Stetson hat. I would write down anything that would stick in my head that if you ever see a hat that says Stetson, you get it. You're getting so much money for it. You know what I mean? Just write down these brands and it helps for them to stick in your head. And then when you're out, it's not so overwhelming, and just do it. Do it a little bit every day. I have 3 kids and I am still managed to go shopping 4 to 5 times a week. And they're either coming with me, I go when my husband gets home, whatever. I don't have anybody coming and watching them for me or hanging out with them. If you work full time, go at night. It's fun. Make it your hobby. Did you used to like golfing? Guess what? Golfing costs money. Do something like thrifting. That makes money. You know what I mean? I used to watch a lot of friggin' TV and shows and movies and stuff. Don't have time for that anymore. I put that time, those hours I would spend sitting there watching things. Now I watch thrifting videos, So anyways, that's my story. I hope it helps you a little bit. I hope it gives you a little motivation to get out and start selling stuff. And thanks for hanging out, guys. And I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.